in the quiet Cheshire village of Bunbury, where the church's ancient yews cast long shadows and the Whitchurch Road winds through fields of barley, there stands a peculiar cottage known as the Image House. Its walls and garden bristle with carved stone figures, stern faces frozen in mid-stride, their eyes seeming to follow passers-by. Built in the shadow of the 17th century, the cottage is a monument to defiance, its origins tied to an old law and a man whose bitterness was etched in stone. This is the tale of the Image House, of a poacher's revenge, and of a curse that lingers in Bunbury's lanes. The year was 1665, a time when England reeled from plague and the echoes of civil war. Bunbury was a patchwork of farms and commons, its folk bound by custom and suspicion of outsiders. On the edge of the village, where the Whitchurch Road curved past a stretch of common land, an ancient dispensation held sway. Any man who could raise a house in a single night, with a roof overhead and a chimney smoking by dawn, could claim the land as his own. It was a law born of medieval generosity, but few dared test it, for the labour was grueling and the village elders quick to challenge interlopers. Jasper Crow was such a man, a poacher whose name was whispered in Bunbury's taverns with equal parts fear and admiration. Tall and wiry, with eyes like a fox and hands calloused from years of setting snares, Jasper had roamed Cheshire's woods since boyhood, taking hares and pheasants from the estates of lords who rarely set foot on their land. But in 1658 his luck ran dry. Caught with a brace of rabbits on Lord Calverley's manor, he faced Sheriff William Holt, a man as unyielding as the oak gavel he wielded. Holt's men, 3 burly constables named Ned, Tom, and Silas, bound Jasper in irons, and the court sentenced him to 7 years' transportation to the colonies, a fate as good as death for many. Jasper endured, labouring under Virginia's sun, his spirit unbroken but his heart hardened. When he returned to Bunbury in 1665, he was a shadow of the man he'd been, his face carved with lines of resentment. The village had changed little, but Jasper was no longer welcome. Old friends turned away, fearing his reputation, and the sheriff's men watched him like hawks. Yet Jasper had a plan, one born in the long nights of exile. He would claim a piece of Bunbury for himself, and he would make the law pay for his suffering. The common land by the Whitchurch Road was his target, a scrubby patch avoided by farmers for its poor soil. Jasper worked in secret, gathering timber from the woods and stones from the riverbank. He enlisted the help of Meg Tanner, a widow known for her sharp tongue and sympathy for outcasts. Meg's son, young Dickon, a lad of 15, idolized Jasper and carried messages to a handful of loyal rogues who owed the poacher debts. On a moonless night in October, they struck. As the village slept, Jasper and his crew raised the frame of a cottage, hammering beams into place with muffled blows. Meg and Dickon stacked stones for the chimney, while a fire was kindled to send smoke curling skyward. By dawn, the roof was thatched, the chimney smoked, and Jasper stood defiant as the village elders arrived, their protests silenced by the letter of the law. The Image House, as it came to be called, was a squat, sturdy dwelling, its walls of wattle and daub reinforced with stone. But it was not the cottage itself that set tongues wagging, it was what Jasper did next. In the years that followed, he turned his home into a gallery of vengeance. With a chisel and mallet, he began carving figures from the sandstone he quarried from nearby Beeston Crag. Each statue was a likeness of his tormentors: Sheriff Holt, with his pinched lips and gavel raised; Ned, broad-shouldered and scowling; Tom, clutching a rope; and Silas, his eyes narrowed as if searching for prey. He placed them along the walls and in the garden, their stone gazes fixed on the road, a silent accusation to all who passed. Jasper's carvings were no act of admiration. Like a witch crafting wax effigies, he poured his anger into each stroke, muttering curses as he worked. May Holt's justice choke him, he'd growl, chipping at the sheriff's likeness. May Ned's strength fail him, Tom's courage falter, Silas's sight dim. He sat in his doorway each evening, a pipe in hand, staring at the figures as if daring them to answer for his lost years. The villagers, superstitious and wary, avoided the image house, whispering that Jasper's curses had power. When Sheriff Holt fell ill with a wasting fever in 1667, and Ned broke his leg in a ditch, the whispers grew louder. By the time Tom vanished on a winter night, never to be seen again, the cottage was shunned as cursed. Meg Tanner, who brought Jasper bread and ale, saw another side of the man. He's not wicked, she'd tell Dickon, just broken. Jasper taught the boy to carve, and together they added smaller figures to the garden. Hares, birds, even a fox, as if reclaiming the wild things the law had denied him. Dickon, now apprenticed to a stonemason, carried Jasper's craft into Bunbury, and some said the church's new gargoyles bore the poacher's mark, a secret tribute to his skill. Jasper lived to a quiet old age, dying in 1683, his curses spent. The image house passed to Dickon, then to others, but the stone figures remained, weathered but unyielding. By the 19th century, the cottage was a curiosity, its story told to wide-eyed children. Some claimed the figures moved at night, their stone feet shifting in the moonlight. Others swore they heard whispers on the Whitchurch Road, Jasper's voice cursing still. When a fire gutted the cottage in 1890, the figures survived, their faces blackened but intact, and the new owners rebuilt around them, preserving the name Image House. Today, the cottage stands, as it always has, its garden a silent gallery of lawmen frozen in time. The Whitchurch Road is busier now, cars humming past, but locals still glance warily at the figures, half expecting them to stir. In Bunbury's pubs, old-timers tell of Jasper Crow, the poacher who built a house in a night and carved his vengeance in stone. And on stormy nights, when the wind howls through the village, some say they hear a chisel's tap and a low, bitter laugh, as if the image house still holds the poacher's restless spirit, cursing the authors of his misfortune. Many thanks for treading this tale's dark path. If its chill gripped you, like, follow, subscribe, and comment below.